I know why you're here. You know why I'm here. Let's talk about these. Now, Harry Kane came back to Spurs preseason wearing these mystery pair of football boots. Now, the question on everyone's lips is, what brand are these boots? Is it the next material of the Phantom, or is it a new, completely different brand altogether? And to answer your question, these boots are... But in all seriousness, if you want to know the brand of the boots, you're going to have to watch to the end of the video.
Gotcha.
Now, these boots released on ProDirect, and I was luckily one of 50 people in the entire world to actually get my hands on a pair of these mystery football boots. And in this video, I'm going to provide you my initial thoughts and also provide an on-feet so I can tell you how the boots feel on feet. Now, other than looking like a default pair of boots that you get at the start of when you make your pro and pro clubs, these are your standard run-of-the-mill looking kind of fly knit, or not fly knit, sorry, but a knitted kind of football boot with your kind of silicone covering on top of the knitted material. So you have your kind of elasticated knit material around the heel. You kind of got this kind of heel flap, which hasn't been too much of a bother so far, as well as around the ankle and then running around the tongue area. So it kind of get this custom fit when you put on the boots. And then on top of that, you have the kind of silicone-ish, I want to say, kind of covering on the on top of the knitted material, or connected to the knitted material, and it's very heavily textured. So you've got your kind of wavy lines like run across the boot. They're kind of reminiscent of the accelerator as well as some of the earlier materials, but like they're actually kind of 3D in this case, as well as having these kind of like, you can kind of see all these like dots running across the boots as well. It really reminds me a lot of the kind of Nike Phantom GT series. Now, I can only assume that the texturing that they've actually put on the boots is just there to, provide a bit more grip when you're dribbling, passing, just to get a better contact on the ball, so you get a more kind of like responsive feel when you're playing. And interestingly, like, you got your kind of standard lacing just straight down the middle, nothing to like asymmetrical or to the side to provide like a large contact area with some boots. But yeah, just like standard run of the mill down the middle design for the lacing system. And then we're gonna move on to probably maybe a little more less glamorous part of the boot, and that would be the tooling, or some people say the outsole, sole plate, whatever. So here you have this kind of like very short studs, I would say, and you've got the one kind of chevron stud in the middle here. But the rest of the studs, I wouldn't be able to tell you, I don't know, it's a weird shape. They're kind of reminiscent of the kind of split conical studs you saw in the Phantom GT2, as well as they kind of like weird stud that they had on the, I think the material from like, I think it was the Superfly 2 to the 7 that they had it on, that kind of like rotational kind of thing. So yeah, I think they're short, this kind of short, and then have these weird edges to provide maybe a bit of maneuverability as well as some kind of traction as well. Now, earlier on, I said these boots remind me of the Nike Phantom GT2, and pretty much I can say this is like an improved version of the Phantom GT2 in my opinion. And I wouldn't be surprised if maybe the boot that these boots are actually kind of modeled or meant to like are inspired by, should I say, is the Phantom GT, because almost everything about this boot is reminiscent of the Phantom GT2. So like I said earlier, you got the heavy texturing on both boots. Nike said this was, so for better contact on the ball, and I'm guessing this will be the same in this boot as well, like I've said several times already. Heel area, again, you can see the kind of elevated heel flap is a bit more evident here than in here. The only thing I'd say maybe that's a major difference on top when it comes to the uppers at least would be the lacing. So here it's straight down the middle on the mystery boots, and then on the GT, you can see it's kind of asymmetric to the side to provide that kind of larger contact area with the ball. And again, the sole plates, again, both look very, very similar. Like even almost the studs are in the exact same place pretty much, apart from I think the mystery boot has like an extra stud here, as opposed to it doesn't have that here. And then the shapes of the studs, I'd say, are different, but like the kind of composition and the way the sole plate looks is very similar. So the sole plate on the GT, you can see, is a lot more aggressive compared to this, and the studs on the GT, maybe if I do it like this, you can see they are a bit longer than they are on the mystery boot, so maybe it won't offer you as a kind of responsive sole plate as you would with the GT. Another thing I would like to mention about the boots is, like, because this is probably the closest comparison that you're going to get when it comes to actually what these are before they come on the market, is the width of the boot itself. So this boot tends to have a more kind of neutral width to it, as opposed to the GT, where it kind of like it's a bit more narrower. So I think maybe this boot will fit more 4 times that the GT did. Nike, well, a lot of people said the Phantom GT fitted wide feet. I didn't find that to be the case, and I've got kind of maybe medium feet, and I thought these were a bit narrow in some places, especially maybe around the midfoot. But with these, I think these are more neutral and more kind of friendly to all foot types. Now, another thing that is often overlooked about boots is the actual lining of the boots itself. So, like I said, it's like your usual kind of run-of-the-mill kind of knitted football boot, in that the lining is like this kind of like, I'll probably provide a picture of it on screen, but is this like suede-like cushioning material, so like kind of cushions your heel as well as locking it in, so there's no heel slippage in that area. And then on the inside of the boot as well, there's this label that says sample, not for resale, made in China, and then it has the sizing. This is what the Harry Kane mystery boots look like on feet. As far as sizing goes, I'm wearing my usual 9.5 UK, and these boots definitely do fit true to size. And the GT2 comparisons do not stop there. Like I said earlier, this boot is effectively just a much more comfortable version of the Nike Phantom GT2. The upper is soft straight away, and even gets softer the longer you wear it in. And at this point, I've only worn the boots for maybe like a good 20 minutes in my own garden. So like, you know, I can only imagine what these boots feel like when they're fully broken in. In terms of space in like the toe area, there is a bit of space, but that's just how the boots are they're a bit long. But a lot of boots on the market kind of fit my feet like that. It's nothing too concerning. But they still offer a good feel for the ball and a responsive fit. I would say another thing is the sole plate is quite neutral. A lot of times with boots, sometimes you get them with a bit of like, they kind of point upwards at the toe, and that's a bit for traction and like kind of push off. But here is a very neutral sole plate that you're going to get with these. Comfort wise, they're extremely comfortable, and like now for those of you who are still watching, thank you for being patient, and the time is finally here to reveal what brand these boots are. They're not Nike, they're not Adidas, they're not Puma, they're not New Balance, they're not Umbro, they're not Mizuno. They are, drumroll please, they are indeed Skechers. Yes, Skechers have entered the football boot market. And if you don't believe me, the S of the Skechers logo is here on the heel, if this will focus. Probably won't focus, but I'll probably show you a picture on screen anyway. And then on the insoles, like I said earlier, I don't want to reveal it, it says Skechers here as well. Now, a lot of people are probably going to be brand snobs and think, oh, because of Skechers, they don't want to have or want to do anything with this boot. And that's probably the totally wrong attitude, you know. A lot of these like smaller brands do make actually better football boots than the likes of Nike, Adidas and Puma. It's just that they don't have like the kind of marketing prowess that these bigger brands do have, so they just appear better. So because Skechers don't have the football boot clout of say a Nike, for example, that doesn't mean they can't make a better football boot. And like I've said several times in this video, this boot is just like a better version of the Nike Phantom GT2 in my opinion. So before you turn your nose up at it, I'd just say at least give it a try if you're curious. But that has been it for the video. I will be dropping a playtest of these eventually around sometime next week, hopefully. And if you want to know when that is, be sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and turn on bell notifications so you know when that video drops. And like always, make sure you follow me on all my socials, TikTok, Twitch, Twitter, and IG. And like I always say, my name is Sub. Thank you for watching. Peace out.